Hello traders, Sid here with another weekly watchlist video. After a strong week of the bull rally, we started seeing some exhaustion. Even though we are in a bull rally, you must not forget the bigger picture here. We are still in a bear market and we can see a pullback with this current uptrend after Apple and Microsoft are done with their earnings. So going into the last week of the July, this is a major week where all big tech companies are going to present their earnings. So this is an important week, and if you really think closely, you can see that all the reasons about why we had this rally. The market is so bullish mainly because of the two reasons: first, earning, and second, Fed meeting along with the GDP numbers. Now the Fed chair Jerome Powell is going to speak on July 27th to 30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on the next day we are going to get GDP numbers. Expectation is this will be a negative quarter, and along with that we are going to be in recession officially. 2 quarters of negative GDP back to back, that's a recession. It seems like market is pricing all of that right now, and if that's the case, then after we get the GDP numbers, market will crash. You guys won't believe it, but if you have observed all the options activity, there is a huge bet going on against the market crash. So I have seen relentless put flow on SPY going from last Thursday and Friday. Also there is a huge call buying on VIX. So there is something is going on and something is about to happen. So we just have to take it day by day and see how everything unfolds in front of our eyes. So without any further ado, let's get started with that. So starting with the Nasdaq on a daily time frame, Nasdaq is having a bear flag formation, and we have this formation for last few weeks where we constantly making higher highs and higher lows. Now the major point that you need to observe over here, so this is the trend line that I marked in my previous video and said we need to cross about 12,600 and push higher towards 13,000 level to be actually bullish. But what we got here on Friday is we reached to that level and then quickly got a rejection, and now we are heading towards this 12,125 level and probably around 12,000 below that, 11,969, which is close to the 12,000 level. So these two levels I'm going to watch going into the next week. Let's see how market reacts to the Fed meeting and GDP data. If GDP data remains slightly positive, then what might happen is we will come back to these levels, retest it and bounce back even higher. But if GDP data is negative and and Fed officially declare a recession, then we come crashing down, breaking this low, which was around 11,000 level, and that will be a super bearish scenario. Similar to Nasdaq, S&P 500 has a similar story. It is nothing different, but the rejection from this level, from this 4,000 level, was even stronger than Nasdaq. Right now what levels I'm going to watch is let's see if it can hold this 3,900 level. If it couldn't hold that level, and as similar to Nasdaq, if it reacts violently to Fed news and GDP numbers and earnings, then either market takes it positive, we might see a retest of this 39,000 level and push back even higher, retesting this 4,158 level. If not, then we can retest its recent low, which is around 3,649 level. So these are the two scenarios, and everything depends. Market takes that news, earnings, Fed, and GDP numbers. Also, you need to know that both stochastic and RSI are turning bearish, so be careful if you are going long into this market. There is one thing that I want to mention over here is if you look closely on a larger scale, this is a right shoulder head and left shoulder might form if we get like some pullback or the drop and then bounce back again. So it can play out, it may not play out, but those are the scenarios that I'm seeing right now over here. So just keep that in mind. Just have all the perspective in front of you so that when you take a trade, it will help you. Moving on to VIX, as I mentioned in my previous video, I said like VIX is probably going to drop towards 22 or probably even lower to retest the 20, 21 or 20 level. So we are close to that 22 level. So I think like, see, it's not, if you look at the stochastic and RSI, it is not completely bullish again. Okay, it is hanging over there, it's giving us a hint, but it's still in bearish form. So I think like we might get a retest of 22, 21 at the max, and then we can get a rebound towards 25, 26 level. Now let's start with Apple. All eyes are on Apple's earning, and last week they caused a market sell-off when they announced that they are slowing down new hirings. Okay, they didn't mention about the job cut, but they said like we are going to slow down hiring, and market took it violently. So now let's see what happens when they announce their earnings. I think Apple will beat earnings, but their future guidance will make or break the deal. And since Apple weighs heavily both on Nasdaq and S&P 500, it will produce a large impact. Before earning, I think like Apple will pull back to 150 level. Amazon has its earning on 20th, and I think its earning will be okay, but Amazon is very notorious for like dropping after the earnings based on the guidance. So let's see what guidance they give us for the next quarter. Before earning, I would like to watch if it can hold 120 level. Right now it's at 122, so 120, 119 level, if it can hold it, that's good. Otherwise it will come back down to 110, 108 level. Next one is Boeing. Boeing is very famous for going against the market trend, and also their earnings are on 27, but at this moment it's leaning towards more bearish side. Just watch for the 149 level as I marked over here. This is a fib retracement, so if we crack below 150 level, then I think we will retest this 0.382 level, which is like 144 level, pretty quickly, and that's about it. I think that might happen even before earnings. Coinbase. Recently Coinbase got into trouble as some of its employees were engaged in insider trading, and SEC arrested few of them. So there is like a negative cloud hanging around Coinbase, which is not good. See what will happen when they announce their earnings, which is on 9th August. It has some time. Even before that, what I am expecting it to do is like it can come crashing down towards 60, 59 level. Now CrowdStrike was in client channel since 13th May, and it held it pretty well going into the next week. It seems like it is going to break the channel towards the downside, and its price to sell ratio is 24.17, which is still high compared to the market condition. So depending on the outcome of its earning, either it can drop down towards 178, 167, or it can push back higher towards 200 range. I am expecting it to retest this 178 level first. If we break through this 0.382 retracement of this drop, then watch for the 172 level in between these two levels. Next one is NFLX. NFLX has earning on 26, and technically it's in rising wedge formation, which is leaning towards the bearish side, and it can drop to 198, 183 level before earnings. Next one is Google. Google also has their earnings on 26th, and I have seen a major put flow for 105 strike on Google. That's why I have this note over here, more than like $1 million put against 105 strike. So it's quite significant, and if you see the drop that we had on a Friday, it's very close to that price target. Before earnings, I think like Google will retest this 104.18 level, and if earnings remains good, then we can see a quickly bounce towards 110, or we might get a bounce towards this 114 level. But if earnings and projected guidance is not that good, then we can retest this 100 level and quickly fill this gap which was from 2nd Feb of 2021. So both scenarios can be possible. Next one is Intuit is looking bearish, so just watch for this level. If it can crack this 419 level, or it might retest and bounce back again. So there is nothing special in it. It recently had its dividend, and so earnings are quite far away from today's date. Next one is Meta, formerly known as a Facebook, which has earnings on 27th. Now, as you guys know, the Snap's earnings were disastrous, and it dropped from, I guess, $17 to $10. That already affected Meta's price, and it similarly affect other stocks like Pinterest. These companies which are heavily dependent on the users, like number of users using Facebook platform and their ad revenue, it's very shaky. And like when I check the financial and all the analyst report, I think like Facebook's earning will be okay, but their projected guidance or future guidance might not be that good. So let's see how market takes it. Right now it's leaning towards the bearish side. So before earning, it might retest this 164 or 159 level pretty quickly. If earnings are not that good, then we might see the retest of this 136 level, which was the COVID low. Next one is MicroStrategy Incorporate. Watch for the 235 level for a quick trade towards the downside based on market condition, and beyond that it might retest this 206 level. Netflix, similar to Google, Netflix got some major put flow in the last week, all the puts are pointing towards the 190 strike. So watch for Netflix if it can hold this 201 level. If we couldn't hold that level, then imminently it will hit that strike of 190. Snow, I was expecting it to break and retest 181 level, which was like here, but that didn't happen. It got nasty rejection from this 0.382 level around like 163, came down right towards this 142, and if market condition remains bearish, then we might see a retest of this 128 level, and that will unfortunately break this uptrend as well. And last one is Tesla. After earning, Tesla ran too fast and too far, so expect a pullback towards 787 level. And if market remain bearish and if we couldn't hold this level, then there is a small gap to fill right between 762 to 754. So we will quickly fill that gap, and rest is depending on the market condition at that time. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope I provided you a brief overview of the market along with what to expect with different stocks with their earnings, and let's see, like we just have to wait patiently to see everything unfold and unravel themselves, like, and how market takes everything. So be careful going into the next week. Next week is going to be the major week. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in next video. Bye.